Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip, Bitcoin down approximately 2%, while Ethereum is also down approximately 2%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins dipping down to those lower levels based on these two heavyweights taking a breather. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that has been hitting good levels of support, going sideways and potentially looking for that bounce, and that project is called RADIX. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, all we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live stream at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects that you want me to cover here on the channel, let me know in the comment section below, or better yet, hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description, and the best option is to join live at 7:30, where you can request them and we'll take a look at the charts as a community. All right, guys, if you want to join that Discord, it's also a great place to join a great community where you can talk about crypto all day long. There's some good alpha being posted throughout the day by a great group of individuals. They're just trying to find an edge on the market, so feel free to join that. And let's get right into it. Bitcoin, after going sideways for the last little while, is currently testing the bottom of the range, and in fact breaking down ever so slightly, down approximately 2%, and so is ETH, right? So a little bit of bearishness, a little bit of negativity. And guys, we anticipated this. We anticipated that the market would be taking a bit of a hit based on Bitcoin's lead. But we have Binance looking a bit strong, although the market is taking a bit of dip and looking a bit negative, Binance BNB right now is looking okay. It's not dipping. It's only up 0.5%, give or take 3% in the last 7 days. But you can see based on this small chart here on CoinGecko that, it's looking okay considering the rest of the market's taking a big dip, right? So let's continue looking down here. We have Dogecoin, we have Cardano taking a dip, Solana continuing to its downside. A lot of these altcoins right now are looking a little bit top heavy, 4.4%. What else do we have? 4.5% for Stellar. What else? Other little dips, sideways action or dips. That's what we can see here. Filecoin taking a bit of a dip here, 6.5% to the downside, 3.4% for Hedera Hashgraph. Now there's a lot of little opportunities here. Nothing huge, like Aave continuing to the downside, down 10% in the last 24 hours, guys. So, nothing big. Stacks looking a little powerful here, getting a nice little bounce, but a retracement is definitely here following Bitcoin's lead. Of course, Stacks generally follows Bitcoin's narrative. Now, if Bitcoin is coming down, I expect Stacks to also come down, so be prepared for that. What else? Kaspa up 1.7%. Slow grind to the upside. Very expected, very normal, very slow distribution in my book. I feel like Kaspa eventually should show some negativity here, but of course, maybe we can take a look at Kaspa in tonight's live stream. And if you have any projects, feel free to join live and I'll put them in priority. All the requests get put into top priority. Okay, so feel free to join. Right now, we see a lot of the market pulling back, looking a bit negative. Phantom down as well, not too much, but still down and looking, a little bit bearish. Render taking a 3% dip back down to about $1.75, bottom of the range. Once again, if it keeps on breaking down here, guys, my targets, lower levels, maybe at $1.20, maybe even as low as $1. What I'm really going to be waiting for is Render's momentum to bottom out, and then I'm going to start looking for entries, start looking for horizontal supports, start looking for confirmations of a break of structure to the upside, because I'm looking to get into another render position to the upside very, very soon. So I'll be definitely looking at Render when it starts to go quiet, when it starts to form a level of support. That's when I'm going to start to get interested. BitGet taking a bit of a dip. A lot of these dips, even Rocket Pool getting a nice little bounce, 3.5%. So we definitely have dips here in the market. Definitely. Trust Wallet rallying up 6.6% alongside Binance, alongside BNB. It could be the fact that Binance did kind of get its green light in Dubai, so that's a really good, interesting concept, and it could be a catalyst for BNB to get a bit of a recuperation here. But generally speaking, we are definitely seeing that the market is going sideways or taking a dip. Most of these projects are taking a bit of a dip to the downside. Today's project is all about RADIX. XRD is the ticker. It's currently down 1.7% at the bottom of the range, currently looking for that support, desperately looking for support. And this is why I want to give you a RADIX update. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis looking at the Bitcoin price. What is Bitcoin up to? This is RADIX, of course, this is RADIX, but we want to take a look at Bitcoin, given the fact that Bitcoin, generally speaking, is a great leading indicator. And if Bitcoin continues to the downside, we could see a continuation in this market to the downside and altcoins getting into that fire sale. Currently, we're at the bottom of this potential support. I feel like we could easily come down to the 200 daily EMA, which is at about 27,200, give or take, and that would be a good opportunity to see this RSI fully reset to oversold conditions. Yes, we do have a bit of a trend, one touch, two touches, a few touches here, and we're going on for a third or fourth touch right at this level. And if we do break down, guys, oversold conditions, here we come, and then we'll start looking for entries on the daily time frame using the 4-hour, using the daily, looking for bullish divergence and all that good stuff. But for now, Bitcoin definitely is looking poised to come down to those lower levels. Okay, guys, so take it easy here with those longs. Be very careful. At the end of the day, you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the trade. All right, let's continue here and get into a little bit more detail. On the 4-hour, I'm not seeing much on the daily, so let's jump into the 4-hour. The daily still kind of trying to get to those lower levels. The 4-hour is definitely back, coming down to this bottom of the range. So far, as long as this price action stays like this, guys, it's looking like a bit of a divergence. Okay, we're looking at a bit of a divergence here on the Bitcoin price. However, that on the daily, we did not fully reset. So we got to keep that in mind. Now, that could give us the perfect scenario to see a few drives of bullish divergence, meaning the price action continuing to the downside, getting those impulses. After this one, we got this impulse down that didn't create a lower low on the RSI. Given the fact that even on the 4-hour, we didn't get into complete oversold conditions as well, it could leave us a little bit of an opportunity to see the price keep on coming down while this RSI either invalidates this current Class A bullish divergence, okay? And the reason why it's Class A is because the price action is coming down while the RSI currently is upward sloping. So the only way we invalidate this Class A bullish divergence is if this RSI actually makes a lower low on this RSI and comes down lower than this low down here. Okay, if that's the case, we're going to be invalidating the bullish divergence and we're coming down to those lower levels. As of now, in my opinion, I feel that we either continue with this bullish divergence but get more price action to the downside, or invalidate it and get into extreme conditions on the RSI oversold condition. That's what I'm looking for here, guys. And we can see currently we're holding up support at the top of this volume gap. We have a volume gap right here, and this volume gap is very evident on the 4-hour, excluding a lot of the price action and only including this rally up. You can see this rally up had very little volume, no supply and demand to act as support if it does come back down. And we are currently testing this zone. So this zone is the zone to protect for the bulls to see if we get that bounce. And it looks like we're trying to break below it. And maybe getting a bullish divergence here is possible, but if we break down with a bit of conviction, it's very, very likely that we break to the bottom of the volume gap, which the majority of supply and demand begins at about, $27,200 right here at this green arrow. So I'm going to be looking at this zone. This zone is the place on the 4-hour. I know I don't put a volume gap indication here, but it's only on the 4-hour. So we got to be quick to anticipate that this dip might happen very soon. If you're going to breakout trade this, be very careful getting into a breakout trade to the downside here. Guys, wait for back tests. We only got one little indication of bullish divergence here on the momentum. No real break of trend, no break of structure, no real break. Trend is your friend right now, and it's possibly due for a bit of a back test back to about 30,000 and then finally get that rollover and continue to the downside. So short-term time frame, be careful because it looks like we're getting a bit of bullishness here on the long term, meaning the daily, I'm waiting for a continuation to the downside to get fully reset to oversold conditions. So this is the way, guys. You got to be prepared to play the market, play the time frames, understand that, you know, within the daily, there are going to be ebb and flows, peaks and valleys that you're going to be able to ride on the 4-hour chart. And you got to decide, are you going to go against the daily? The daily right now is showing us down, showing the negativity. Are you going to use the 4-hour now to go long while the daily is going short? It's all up to you guys, of course. The trend is your friend. Be careful with that risk management, because this is where it's important. Right now, going short is the better alternative based on the daily time frame. Going long right now with this setup is possible, but you got to get in and then you got to get out. All right, guys, that's my take on Bitcoin. Let's get right into the chart for today, and that chart is called RADIX. What is RADIX up to? Of course, RADIX in the last little while has been very, very quiet, not doing much. You got to admit, hanging out here at the bottom of the range. Now, we did happen to get into a nice long position where we bought in here, given the fact that we got into a little bit of an extreme condition on the 4-hour. Okay, and then that we got into another extreme condition here on the 4-hour as well, buying low, selling high, taking profits, walking away and waiting. Guys, we fully reset. We basically came down to the previous low where we bought in previously, and we're slowly knocking at this level of support, maybe breaking below it. And if that's the case, you can expect that RADIX could come down to those lower levels. The only thing that I want to do here on the dailies, be very clear with the fact that, number one, we bought in nice and early and we took profits almost perfectly. Okay, this is a great profit taking opportunity right here that we took, and basically took great advantage of this back test to the upside. Now that we've have some profits to work with, you know, finding an entry that is absolutely perfect is not that necessary, because you're now going to be playing with a bit of house money, a bit of profit, and you can be a little bit free about that profit because, again, it's house money, but you don't want to miss out on any opportunities. We did retrace properly here. This retracement is decent. Let's kind of look at what kind of retracement percentage wise we're talking about. Let's say from the top all the way to where we are right now, you're looking at a 63% dip from that top, a 63% discount. Okay, guys, that is nothing to frown upon. At the end of the day, you know you didn't buy tops and you know you're not buying into green price action. This is a dip, a decent dip. Now, if we look at Fibonacci and we take another perspective, you know, we start to go from swing low, okay, to swing high. You can see that we are at the 786 retracement level. 786 are great retracement zones. Obviously, we have that golden pocket that we flew right through. 786, right? In fact, as I correct myself, we are at the 886 coming up. So the next level is the 886. 786 is where we are right now, and we can continue coming to the downside to get the support that we're looking for on the daily. Maybe another back test down as low as the 886, right around this volume gap. So what I am worried about is that we may not hold this as support, and in fact, we might come down a little bit further to about 5 cents, touching the top of this volume gap for another level of horizontal support. Okay, so something to consider here on the dailies, that we didn't get over reset. We didn't get fully reset here, right? But we didn't get over a reset here. So it could be a thing that we are seeing that the momentum is contracting alongside the price action. The price action is losing its volatility, and so is the momentum. That makes sense. So don't expect the oversold and overbought conditions to get extreme. And now, because of that, we're going to see that RADIX may slowly over time start staying in basically trading within the 50% of the RSI, which is the chop zone, which is the zone where you don't see volatility. So we go from extreme volatility, we tighten up, we loosen up that volatility to the point that we eventually get nice and tight here, and we get into a chop zone type of scenario here on the daily, which means that we could kind of be range bound here for the next little while based on daily time frame. Okay, which means that we are currently potentially at the bottom of this range, which is great. Bottom of the range at about 5 cents, guys. This is not a bad opportunity to take a bit of risk and start scaling in. Now we're gonna have to get into lower time frames here, guys. Not only is the daily RSI in the chop zone, but also there's no indication of anything, no edge whatsoever. We did get a bit of a back test. It's 3 drives to the downside, while the price action is moving upwards. This is class B bullish divergence here on this price action. But if we break below this ice line, if we break below this level of support, you know we're coming down to those lower levels. So anticipate that. So there's a couple of strategies that you can employ. You can put a tight stop loss, mitigating your risk right below these three lows, right? Very, very clear invalidation. If we break below, you can definitely get out of the trade and cut your losses very quickly. And that is an ideal scenario when you are looking for risk management, right? So stop loss accumulation right around here where we are right now is beautiful time to accumulate. And if you kind of zoom, let me kind of get this higher, you can put a stop loss right underneath these lows, which would be right under here, more or less, and your TP could be right around here again, top of the range, and you're looking at a 9-to-1 ratio. Let's be modest. Let's take it a little bit earlier. So just in case we don't go 8-to-1, you're looking at a good scenario here for a long, but you're going to have to put a stop loss. But what about if you don't want a stop loss? Guys, DCAing, get in small, double down as we come down, because the difference is not that much, right? What you want to do is double down hard when we do come down, because then you'll drag your average cost lower and lower as we do come down. And eventually, based on the fact that the daily already is at the bottom of the range and kind of already fully reset, it's likely that we do get a bit of support as we do come down to these lower levels. Okay, guys, so pay attention here. It's not bad of a scenario. The retracement is good, and we could be in an accumulation phase. The only thing that I want to say is that there's no indicator, no clear break of structure here, guys, just yet. We are range bound, double bottoming, triple bottoming, going sideways. We could be getting another leg to the downside, given that this kind of is a consolidation, a bear flag after an impulse to the downside. We could get another fat impulse to the downside, once again getting to those lower levels, maybe at about 4 cents. You never know, right, guys? So this is why DCAing is great, because you don't ever know where the bottom is. What we do know right now on the daily is that we got a little bit of a reset, both from oversold and overbought conditions, and we're going sideways. Let's get into the 4-hour, because 4-hour might kind of give us that edge where we're looking for, mitigating that risk so that we're not into such a risky position. Right now, this chop zone, you can see the RSI right now is right getting into that chop zone and hanging out. No extreme conditions whatsoever, none whatsoever. If we reuse this line, you can see that we came from this zone. Let's kind of do this. We did this from here, fully reset. And as the price action is moving sideways, you can see double bottoms, triple bottoms. The RSI is definitely moving up. So on the 4-hour, it is a class of B bullish divergence right here with that ice line here on the 4-hour that we talked about. Invalidation is important. Invalidation is below these previous lows. All right, guys, this is pretty good. Not bad of a trade setup, even on the 4-hour, getting into a quick long position or accumulation and anticipating that if we do get that bounce, you're going to have to be really quick to take those profits, because this range right now is pretty weak. And overall, what I want to do is, how weak is this range again? It's kind of filling up. It's no longer a weak spot like it was in the past. In the past, this was a weak spot, right? It filled it up. As we came down, we chopped around this zone, and you can see that now the weak zone is no longer as weak as it was in the past. So we got to anticipate that there's going to be a little bit of an interest to, hold this as support. If we get up, when we back test, I'm looking at, this zone right about 6 cents to actually hold a support if we get back up there once again. We've accumulated quite a bit of volume here. So let's kind of rearrange this volume gap, because it's no longer as evident as it was in the past. I just want to update this with you guys right here, and I want to understand and make it very clear that now we do have a weakness right about here. This is the remaining weakness that we have. The rest of it right now is basically a lot of supply and demand. In fact, it's pretty big in comparison to the rest of it. So some support here is resistance, future support, future resistance is definitely building at this range. So pay attention, guys. If we do come down, expect a continuation, and then this zone is the battle zone once again if we're going to go long. If we break up, back test this zone for continuation to the upside, going long on the 4-hour time frame is not a bad idea. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a huge favor, slap that like button. It does really help out with that algorithm, and of course the support is greatly appreciated. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to hit me up anytime on those socials. Of course, that Discord group is a great place, great community, sharing alpha throughout the day, trade setups, basically news, all kinds of stuff going on. Go check it out. Great community. All right, guys, take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.